Welcome back to Astrology, Angels, and More. I'm your host, Mary Silvernail, and we have a very interesting show for you tonight. It's June the 10th, 2026, and our show tonight is about the treasures that come from the earth. I have an interesting guest. He's a miner and a jewelry maker, and he has some amazing crystals that he himself has mined. And I'm really looking forward to interviewing him. But first, I wanted to wish Gemini a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Gemini. I have a lot of very important Geminis in my life, including a lot of family members and extremely close friends. Now, Gemini is the third sign of the zodiac, with Mercury as its ruling planet. Yellow is the color associated with Gemini. Geminis are curious, playful, bouncy, and clever. Many are writers, speakers, or work in the communications field. They're quick-witted and make excellent salespeople. Their gems are aquamarine and citrine. And tonight we're going to be talking about all kinds of different gems that come from our beautiful Mother Earth. You know, Geminis, though, they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to be with. And I have a wonderful friend that's a Gemini, and sometimes when her and I get together, all we do is laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. Now, June the 12th, the planet Uranus will be squaring the nodes of the moon. You may notice a restlessness with your status quo. Things might seem a little bit different. Beware of differences in opinion, though, and not carry it too far, or it can create a severing or damaging to relationships. Then on June the 14th, the beautiful Gemini new moon, a new beginning, starting fresh, particularly with communications, consciously, we have to start tuning in to the positive Gemini energy, which will help improve social and communicative skills. You know, I have to say, the Gemini new moon can bring a new way for you to be able to communicate your feelings, and also a new way to perhaps promote different things in your life for you to find your voice. It would be a wonderful time for that. Now, June the 19th, this is very interesting. The asteroid Chiron, which is known as the wounded healer, enters Taurus until September 17th, and then the permanent transit in Taurus will be April the 14th, 2027, all the way up until July 19th, 2033. Yes, very long transit. And this is a time during that period of time. So you're talking about like 7 years here, okay? And this is the time of rebuilding your own sense of self-worth, learning to focus on your own healthy needs without feeling guilty in the process. Now understand, these aspects for the month of June and each month that I report them to you, these go for every single sign, all the way from Aries through Pisces. And depending upon where the planets fall in your stars, in your own zodiac chart is where it will affect that particular part of your life the most. So now Jupiter enters Leo on June the 20th, 2026, and it will stay there until July 26th, 2027. We have a year of lucky, lucky Jupiter in Leo. So especially you Leo risings, Leo sun signs, very lucky time for you. And as I said, Jupiter is the luckiest planet of all and comes around each sign every 12 years. So this is a 12-year cycle. Leo rising, Leo sun sign especially, look back 12 years ago and see what was going on in your life. Perhaps at that time you had gotten a new job or maybe a new promotion, or maybe something really lucky happened in your life. Maybe you hit the lottery, okay? Or whatever it was, this is the next time around for you of luck. Now, where this falls in your astrological chart is the luckiest area of your life for the next 12 months. On June the 21st at 4:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the longest day and shortest night of the year, which is the Cancer solstice. The sun moving from Gemini to the sign of Cancer, which marks another shift in the universal energies that bring about more intensity for change. You see these changes I'm talking about for this month of June. It's really quite wonderful changes. A solstice is an energetic gateway due to the reduction in the magnetic field of the Earth, which allows a greater flux of cosmic radiation to penetrate our atmosphere and our psyche. Okay. A lot about all different kinds of communication this month, including psychic communication with the sixth sense, with communicating with the other side, the angels, your spirit guides. June the 29th then through July the 23rd, Mercury will go retrograde. This is an excellent time to get in touch with what nurtures you and feeds your spirit. It can also be a time of going down memory lane due to the fact that it's going to be a nostalgic Cancer. June 29th, Capricorn strawberry full moon. Be on the lookout for that. It brings sudden awareness to our lives in general, especially the areas that require more balance. This is a time to take care of responsibilities, attend to business, and to take charge. Also, a time for opening your mind to new possibilities, but also waiting things out for the proper timing. To quote the poet Eliot, time past and time future. What might have been and what has been point to one end, which is always present. Focus on the present moment. That's what I get from that quote. Focus on the present moment. You know, someone very important to me, very near and dear and important to me, had told me many years ago, Mary, what we truly have are moments. Concentrate on each precious moment. All we can control is the here and the now. Don't waste that. What happened yesterday. You cannot change it. The future depends on what you do now, today. The only thing in time that you truly have control over is the present moment, which will then shape your future. Now, with that said, you know, everything that I just read from these papers to you, I've written, and they're in my horoscope column every month. And if you're interested in receiving the free horoscope, just email me. My email address is at the end of the show. And we'll be happy to send you the horoscope each month, which also includes an angel of the month, and also includes your specific horoscope per sign for your rising sign and your sun sign. Just send me an email. It's at the end of the show. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my wonderful guest tonight. He's been on before. It was about a year ago before, but he has some very interesting items to share with us and tremendous knowledge. And I'd like to introduce Doug Withstanley. And he's a miner of his own gems, and he's also a jeweler. Come on in, Doug. Come on in and join us. Okay, welcome, Doug. Have a seat. We've been waiting for you. Oh, thank you for coming back on the show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that warm introduction.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're wonderful.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, good. So you've been doing some new things, right?
Yeah, in the past year, it's been about 11 months since we last spoke on the show, and I've really been focusing on still mining, still getting out in nature and enjoying, you know, the scenery and the experience of it. But I've also been focusing on creating jewelry out of the pieces that I find out there, and also some of other materials that I purchase from other miners. I really try to support other miners, both locally in the Northeast and Nevada and New Mexico as well.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Yeah, you brought a tremendous amount of very interesting items, and plus we have a lot of great pictures to show. So why don't you explain to the audience what you do?
In regards to some of these earth treasures that we're going to be speaking about, you know, that's kind of hobby. That's, you know, my passion, something I do in my free time. My 9 to 5 per se is I'm a school teacher, and I also coach wrestling. And in the summers, on the weekends, on my free time is when I like to get out and really enjoy the nature, find things, you know, research it in books, on maps, on the internet, and then go out in nature and actually find it. And it's very gratifying, you know, and it's a lot of adrenaline, and it's a great way to stay in shape and stay fit.
Where do you go?
Well, I live in Ocean County, New Jersey, so I'm kind of locked to that southern part of the state. Most of the crystals that are in our state are in the northern and northwestern parts of the state.
I see.
So I travel, I do some stuff in Somerset County, Warren County, Hunterdon County, Passaic County, but then also Pennsylvania. I like to go outside of Philadelphia.
Outside of Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean like an hour outside of Philadelphia.
Okay. I was
like,
going to say.
You know, I mean, honestly, you know, right in the suburbs of Philadelphia, you can find beautiful blue kyanite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. So, you know, there's also garnets out in the Philadelphia suburbs. So we do have, you know, in the tri-state area, there is incredible mining to be had.
And how did you know about this? How did you, like, what started you off with this?
I'd say looking for something to do in my free time. You know, for years and years, I was big into fishing, and then I got into like more hiking and camping, and occasionally I would find like some rough minerals on the ground. And I would pick them up and I'd say,
I
like,
see.
this is really neat. Like, I'd like to find, better specimens, like nicer ones if possible. But even as a kid, I remember being in my grandfather's basement, and he had boxes of rocks and minerals and crystals. And through the 60s and 70s, he worked road construction up here
there you go.
in northern New Jersey.
In northern New Jersey,
So
yeah.
when they were making roads, they were blasting through mountains, and there were a lot of crystals that were turned up during that construction process. So he had them in boxes in his basement, and I remember picking up a piece of amethyst and just looking at it and seeing it sparkle and seeing the beautiful, vibrant purple color of it. And I'm like, this is incredible. And my grandfather told me, like, yeah, I found that at work in New Jersey. And I just couldn't really imagine that because, growing up in Ocean County, we just kind of see a few like quartzite rocks and, nothing that spectacular. But when you see that beautiful amethyst that came from New Jersey, it's like, how can you not get excited about that?
See, that's incredible because most people, I'm born and raised in New Jersey, Jersey girl, okay? And you just don't think of amethyst being mined in New Jersey. You just don't think about that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're saying that is there quite a bit of amethyst in New Jersey?
I think part of the problem is we put, some of our cities and some of our, shopping centers and shopping malls on mountains and areas where we did have a good amount of it. And it's not as common. Like quartz is the most common mineral on Earth, right? SiO2. One silicon and two oxygen make quartz. And that's the most common thing on Earth when it comes to minerals.
Just learned something.
But to get that beautiful purple variation of that quartz, which amethyst is, you need certain, temperatures and certain, specifications for that to occur, right? It's really special. So it's not as common as like, typical quartz. But, there are deposits of it in New Jersey. I've gotten amethyst from Pennsylvania as well. I've even gotten some from Rhode Island with a fellow miner we became friends online.
Oh, that's
cool.
So,
so 3 states that I've pulled amethyst out of, and, it's pretty special.
Very special. Yeah. Very, 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 very special.
Sure is.
And as far as then you mine the jewelry, but then, the stones, the gems, and then you create jewelry, such as you're wearing a wonderful pendant there right now.
Yeah. So not all of it can be, made into jewelry, for example. Like your beautiful amethyst you have up front here, like that's a beautiful specimen that probably should remain a specimen because it's like, it has, the points of the crystal.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to like take that apart and make that into like a jewelry specimen. But when you get like a larger rock, so for example, this it might be hard to see on camera, but this specimen here is from Somerset County, and this is a form of petersite that is only found in New Jersey. So to people who know rocks and crystals and collectors, geology-wise, this is a very rare variety of petersite, and they call it Tushanite. And it doesn't look like much, by video or by picture even, but when you cut this with a lapidary saw, and you then polish it, you get a beautiful creation that has different colors, and it could change and refract in the light, and that term is called chatoyancy, but it has very nice chatoyancy, and it makes a beautiful pendant. So, it's amazing where in the restaurant business, it's farm to table.
Really?
This is farm to pendant.
Yeah,
this is mountain dependent. And,
because originally I was with my friend and we were in Point Pleasant in a shop, and I had noticed your beautiful pendants there. And when I noticed them, and she had mentioned she had one herself that she had purchased. And I found, then when I looked you up and I found out all these interesting things about you, that's why I asked you to be on the show last year. And I asked you to come back, okay? So, because it's very interesting what you do and you have a tremendous amount of knowledge about this.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
This
Thank
is
you.
very
I'm just a
satisfying
beginner.
for
You
you.
know, it is satisfying. And I'm just a beginner. And one thing that really helped me was I joined a rock and mineral club. And I'm the youngest member there by probably 10 years. And most of the members in that club are much older than me. But their knowledge is extensive. And they know a lot about minerals and formations and just history. And it's really good to learn from them. You know, it's one thing to research things in a textbook, than to read it online. But to actually have the conversation about it, have someone put something in your hand and teach you, I think you really learn exponentially that way.
100%. You know, I mean, as you know, I'm an astrologer, and my father, I grew up with it in my house, astrology, and then my older sister. So yeah, it was always one-on-one, and then I had two wonderful mentors also. So it wasn't anything that I learned in a book. To have someone that has an expertise to be able to have the conversation with and talk back and forth, that's really, really important. Very blessed. Your grandfather, is he still with us?
No, he is not.
He must be very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're
welcome. I'm sure he is. I know he was a big collector of different rocks, minerals, but also loved like plants, and he grew a lot of different fruits and vegetables. And I remember he had a farm in Freehold. And I remember as a kid going there, and there was a lot of things to do as a kid on that farm, and have fun and be a kid and enjoy it.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Well, a lot of the farmland in New Jersey isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Is your grandfather's?
Yeah, my
there?
uncle lives there.
Oh,
and,
good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, and he's still he's much into that and preserves that.
That's wonderful.
That legacy.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Where would you say that the most minerals are found in New Jersey? The most of your gems.
Okay, so that's a really good question. So we actually have the world famous Franklin Mines in New Jersey. That's in Sussex County, and that is famous for having the most minerals in one location. There's been hundreds of different minerals documented from this one mine, Franklin Mine. And it's there's a museum there as well, and it's great for kids. But what they're famous for is the ultraviolet minerals. They fluoresce under ultraviolet light.
Oh, I love that.
I'm probably bring some for you next time we're on the show then, because
you're coming on. You're coming on the next Spiritual Journey TV show.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
You're going to be a guest. So maybe you bring that then.
I could do that. I could do that, and we'll try to get some pictures before. But what you do in a dark, you put them in a box, and if you cut a small hole and then shine a shortwave UV light on the rock, it will fluoresce. Some minerals fluoresce, like the calcite from that mine fluoresces a beautiful orange red. Then there's also a mineral called willemite, and that fluoresces a bright green.
Why?
I will research that, and I will have that in.
Why does it fluoresce?
There's something in
it.
The fossils fluoresce as well. So something with certain minerals, when they're exposed to that UV light at that wave, the short wave UV light, on that spectrum causes our eyes to pick up a different color than what is there when the UV light's not on it. And it's a different wavelength than the sun's UV light. It's a short wave.
Yeah.
So it's not all specimens of calcite will do it.
Okay.
Only certain ones from certain areas. But we're super fortunate here in New Jersey to have that. And any rock and mineral fans out there, it's a really good place to visit. I have no affiliation with them, but it's just really cool. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there
It's
twice
a
now.
museum. Yeah.
But they also have a little pit where you can go down and you could pick your own rocks. And they have a sample UV light, so you could put it under to see what it looks like before you take it home.
That must be a fun place also for kids.
It's a great
parents
place.
and kids.
Yeah.
Okay. So perhaps, Brian, I know that we have some pictures here of Doug actually mining, of him out there. You know, do you have that? I had sent them to you this earlier today. Do you have them?
The images were not basically made for the what you call it, for the viewing. We have alternative pictures.
No, I know that you have the ones of the stones, but I had sent you ones of him actually.
That was the problem.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We
Usually, okay.
couldn't convert the format.
Okay.
So we have other pictures.
Oh, I wish I had known that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to show alternative pictures anyway. Here's the first image.
Okay. Anyway, this is a good picture. This one I love. Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead now. Actually, you took this picture on the table here.
Yeah.
And please tell the audience what you're looking at here.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here these are fossilized shark teeth. And the largest one that we're looking at, that is actually from Maryland. And that is the shark, a shark that existed between 8 and 23 million years ago during the Miocene epoch. And its name was Ototus chubutensis. Ototus is Greek for big tooth. So this shark existed before Megalodon. So everybody has heard of, most everyone's heard of Megalodon, the largest living shark in history, largest teeth.
How big?
Megalodon reached up to 60 feet. But this shark, Chubutensis, was up to about 45 feet.
Oh my goodness. Can Brian just come back to Doug for a moment, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you have the tooth right here.
Yeah.
This is pretty big. This is big. This is not a little tooth.
No, it's not a little tooth. And, you know, it
how
has
old did you say it is?
between 8 and 23 million years old. Like I've never had this specific tooth like carbon dated. But that's when we know through, you know, carbon dating other specimens that this shark existed. So, yeah, and like I said, this was from Calvert County, Maryland, which is on the Chesapeake Bay. And I found this just walking the shoreline. So you could walk the shoreline there, and there's public areas where you can walk. And
people would think it's a shell,
yeah,
right? They wouldn't know.
You might.
Yeah, look at that.
So
in
that area, there's ancient seabed from 8 to 23 million years ago that is exposed, and as storms hit on the Chesapeake Bay, it washes these fossils out, as well as there's lots of shells there from that time. So you have fossilized shells. There's bones of different mammals from that time that wash ashore.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever come across any of them?
I have plenty at home.
You have plenty at home?
Yeah.
Bring them for the next show.
Okay.
If you can you?
Of course. You
know?
Yeah.
Because I have to say that Doug has so much material and everything. That's why he's on Astrology, Angels, and More. And then he's going to come back and be on Spiritual Journey TV also.
Yeah.
So we're covering a lot of stuff here.
And,
okay, what else do you have there?
Well, okay,
Brian?
so up on this picture now, we have, these are what are known as Herkimer diamonds or Herkimer quartz. And it's from Herkimer County, New York, and which is in upstate New York. And this area is famous for really clear crystals, but they could come in different varieties. As you could see, the one in that picture on top has a little bit of like smoky quartz look. And what that is that's carbon inclusions. So as this crystal was forming, there was carbon present, which gives it that kind of smoke phantoms in that crystal. And, they're also famous for a lot of different, the crystals will have a lot of rainbows in them as well. And they could be large, they could be small. I do have like smaller ones at home that are in like, pristine condition, and they are like water clear. But I really like these larger crystals.
I like that one.
You're
holding there.
Yeah, they have a lot of different definition to them, and they have a lot of character
Facets.
and a lot of facets and a lot of multiple growth points on them.
Yeah.
It's just
Beautiful.
amazing. Yeah, it's
Beautiful. If you see it in person, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's incredible because, I mean, you could, 5 feet away from each other, you can find different crystals. So it's not like, in one area you find, a crystal that typically looks this way. You can move over 5 feet and find something completely different. So it's a surprise.
Amazing.
I mean, that's one thing about mining. It's, the anticipation of, the search. And then when you do find it, you're blown away every time. Just because of the beauty and the different things.
Well, the beauty of Mother Earth.
That's right. And in the beginning of the show, you mentioned that poem and living in the present, and I thought that was really good advice. And one thing I always have to remind myself while I'm out there looking for these crystals, looking for the shark teeth, is be present and be in the moment. Don't think, oh, maybe I should have went here, maybe I should have went over there. Like, concentrate on where you are, be present, and the crystals find you.
Yes.
They really do.
I love it. I love it.
They really do. So
I love it. The energy.
Thank you.
There's a tremendous amount of energy I'm sitting among here with all these shark teeth and beautiful crystals. So what else do you have here?
Okay, so next we have two on the screen. What you're looking at are two examples of amethyst from New Jersey. So these are actually from Passaic County, and the larger one has darker purple amethyst as well as some clear amethyst. And this was one of the first amethyst pieces.
Yeah, we have. It's okay, Brian. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
this
sorry.
was one of the first amethyst pieces that I had ever found, and of this quality, and it was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and maybe if we come see that picture is not doing that amethyst justice, because now if you could just put it up a little closer, you want to know why. Maybe if Doug goes up to camera 2. And maybe you could show, because look at the beauty of that amethyst. Do you see? See that sparkle? And look at the formation. The picture didn't do it justice. Yeah. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's...
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, Passaic County, New Jersey. It's absolutely incredible, and...
A lot of energy in that stone.
Yeah.
I feel a very strong, beautiful, loving, spiritual energy there. I do. Very positive energy. Amethyst enhances psychic abilities. Amethyst also, especially if you want to remember your dreams, it's wonderful to have a little piece of that on your nightstand. Because it would, and to give you good dreams and dreams that you'll remember. Yeah, beautiful.
I love that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of people who ask me for certain crystals for their house and by, a nightstand or even like by a front door for protection.
Oh yeah.
So.
What do they ask you for that? For the protection?
Black tourmaline or obsidian.
Obsidian and also onyx. I got to tell you something, and I agree with you about the other two that you mentioned, the obsidian. And the thing is that, and on my desk, I have really big, in my office, because crystals, they have energy and they each one does something different.
Sure.
But on my desk I have a beautiful clear quartz crystal. That's the beautiful energy. But then I also have my black tourmaline, okay? And that sucks up the negativity, okay? But for a person to wear, to stay grounded and protected, I have always found over the years that onyx works the best. Although the other ones, any kind of a black stone, Do you also mine smoky quartz?
Yes. So We do have, I think, a picture of some smoky quartz specimens.
Mm-hmm. We don't have to do that now, but I
Okay.
remember my mother loved the smoky quartz.
All right, that's it. Yep.
There.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah,
All right,
that's
so here are two
beautiful.
examples of smoky quartz that were found from the same location, and this is Pennsylvania. This is about these came from about 10 to 20 minutes outside of King of Prussia.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, wow,
You know,
who would ever dream?
yeah.
Especially what beauties these are.
yeah, and it's interesting. The location where these came from, you could see the one in this hand is almost like black smoky quartz.
Yeah,
it's
I
very
like
dark,
that.
very black.
That
and
is very dark for a smoky quartz.
to see through it, you have to shine a light directly on it, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And you could see there's like a little bit of webbing in it as well.
Maybe you could bring it up
Yeah,
to
I'll bring
camera
these
too
over.
again. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
no,
you
no.
know, I want them to be. I want the audience
Yeah.
to be able to grasp what we're talking about the. Look at that. See the glitter, the
Yeah.
shine, and the points.
I'm just trying to stay in the light.
Yeah. No, it's great. Okay.
Yeah,
But
so
it
that
shows
is like
better.
The black, the really dark variation, and then this one has a little bit of like white variation.
Yeah.
In this variety, the people who took me and showed me where this was were some gentlemen that I, did crystals with. They named this cookies and cream.
I love it.
Yeah, because it kind of does look like the cookies and cream ice cream.
It does.
There's white with black spots in it, or almost like Dalmatian. So yeah, two varieties, kind of look completely different, but a little similar at the same time. And I found these about 10 feet apart. So again, here's another example of how
Come and sit
when
down.
these crystals are forming, they can be very similar, but at the same time look very different.
Right.
And yeah, there are points there as well. Here are a couple like loose points that are not like in a big cluster like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in this area, you could find loose points, you could find clusters, but sadly, nobody will ever get this variety of smoky quartz again because there is now a shopping mall on top of that area. So it was an old farmer's field, and people had been digging these quartz specimens for a few years, and they started construction this year, and
That makes me sad.
there are now buildings on it. So until the next location gets found,
Well,
some of these treasures are hidden for now.
for now,
But that's how it goes.
but eventually,
Nothing lasts forever.
nothing lasts forever.
That's it. So
No, absolutely
many
not.
many
These are
people
beautiful.
many people were fortunate enough to mine some of that smoky quartz and share it with their families and friends. And
But won't it possible? But can that turn up in another location?
yeah, it could. I mean, Pennsylvania is famous. Those mountains are in that area, in that county. Those are pegmatite mountains, and pegmatite is a conglomerate of different rocks. And as that pegmatite breaks down over millions and millions of years, you get a lot of crystals that form in that.
Mm-hmm.
So in pegmatite, smoky quartz is synonymous with pegmatite. If you go to Colorado, if you go to New Hampshire, if you go to all these different locations, if you're in pegmatite, you're most likely going to find quartz and smoky quartz.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what that location was. So, that whole area, that whole county in Pennsylvania has amethyst, it has quartz, it has smoky quartz. It's just a matter of where those veins run through the landscape.
Mm-hmm.
So until the next one is found,
So when you're doing this mining, are there others there at the same time?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Locations that are, pretty well known. There's different mining websites and different groups and clubs, and, sometimes people share information and friends call friends. And, so if you go on like a Sunday, you may see some other people there. But some of the locations that I go mining at are, secluded to me, really. I haven't seen, evidence of other people being there, digging there.
I see. I see. And what calls you to a specific location?
Oh, that's that's a good question. I think just studying maps and knowing, like, okay, these creeks came through here, or, this mountain range is here, and, there has been, records of this mineral being found in this county.
Mm-hmm.
So then you narrow it down. Okay, where can I go on public land, not on private land or not trespassing? Where can I go on public land where I can do this legally and safely? And then you go there and explore. You always do like a scouting mission where you just go and you just walk and you look on the ground for evidence, or you look on the side of like the mountain on a rock face, like an open rock face for mineralization. You'll see just plain rock, and then you'll see, some whites or some whatever, and that's usually calcite or quartz.
Do you ever get a feeling about?
Yeah, I do, and sometimes it pans out, but sometimes it doesn't. But the times that it doesn't pan out, one thing I realized, all it takes is one more shovelful. So you could take 100 shovelfuls, right?
Boy.
You can dig 100 shovelfuls and you can find nothing and give up. But on that 101st shovelful, you could have found that shark tooth or that crystal. And then once you find one, it's proven ground. You know it's there, and you know to just keep going or move 5 feet left, 5 feet right, 5 feet up. So it is trial and error. It is hit or miss. But
It's amazing.
some of it is proven ground. It's like you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to find something, but not always. And that's what's fun about it, right?
What else do you have?
I think we have, yes. All right, so
That's
definitely
beautiful.
excited to talk about this. So this mineral we're looking at now, this is carnelian. And carnelian is a very interesting crystal because this is the result of cooled lava. And carnelian is not very abundant on the East Coast at all. Most carnelian and the best examples of carnelian come from Washington State.
Oh, really?
Yes. So,
Washington State?
yeah, Washington
That's all the
State.
way on the other side of the
Yeah.
Okay.
But, what we have in New Jersey here is we have a few basalt mountains, which is cooled lava. And those basalt mountains run through the center of the northern part of New Jersey. And if you could find the right location, right conditions in that cooled basalt from millions and millions of years ago, there's a lot of minerals there. And carnelian is one of those that can be
So
there.
what you're holding in your hand is
Yes.
carnelian,
Correct.
which is lava.
Well,
Is that what you're telling me? Or the lava went through it?
the lava flowed, and in that lava flow, when it cooled, there were crevices and cracks, and then water filled in. Most of New Jersey was underwater for a good amount of the geologic time period. And when that water receded, or when the water rose, actually, it got in the different nooks and crannies and cavities in that cooled lava. And since those certain minerals were present, when that water receded, it allowed crystals to form. Different quartz, amethyst, and carnelian as well. Jasper.
The center of that is sparkling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wonder if...
Yeah, we got to get this one on camera. We got to get this one on camera. So, yeah, this is...
Here we go.
So this is the best piece of carnelian that I've ever found. And you can see in the center of it, there's, a little bit of, like, crystallization and druzy. They call it druzy.
Yeah.
Small quartz druzy. And it's really neat. If the banding that goes around the outside is like that darker red, and then in that center you have that, and there's a little pocket of it on the outside as well. So this is, one of the larger pieces I've found and one of the more interesting ones, and this can compare with any piece that comes out of Washington State.
Wow.
So yeah, beautiful stuff. The carnelian can be incredible. It can range from yellow to orange to this deep red, cherry red. And this can be, when I get pieces, this size, I can cut and make this into jewelry. I've made a few rings set in sterling silver with this carnelian.
Must be beautiful.
and a few pendants as well. And it is incredible. They didn't last long, I'll say that. They
Well,
found a happy home quite
your
quickly.
pendants that you're referring to, Brian, do you have the pictures of the pendants? No? Maybe you could hold them up.
Sure, sure.
Thank you. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
no, that's okay. So in the last year, I've really got into making these pendants, and
Beautiful.
they are. I'll do one at a time.
Yeah.
Trying to do both, it's not really working too well. So these pendants, this one is labradorite, and I did not find this, sadly to say, but I did cut with a rock saw and then shape and polish this labradorite myself. And then I just tie it on a cord, and you know, people can wear it as jewelry. This material I got from a miner out west. And this came out of like a mine that was intended for silver and copper, and this was one of the byproducts. So really cool piece as well.
That's beautiful.
This is
They're both beautiful, but
yeah. This is
that's really
magnesite.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Where did that come from?
this is out west in Arizona. So I did not mind those, but you know, some of the material that I get, I really enjoy working with and making, you know, different pendants and, you know, turquoise from out west, and whatever I could get my hands on, I'll try to make something out of it.
So what you do is what? Explain the process, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
for the audience.
Sure, gladly.
Thank
So I have lapidary saws, and lapidary is just a term that refers to like the cutting and polishing of rocks
Yes.
and minerals.
Okay.
So I have a larger 12-inch saw. So if you get a rock about like this size per se, you could cut it with the 12-inch saw into what's called like a slab. You'll get like 3/8 of an inch to up to a 1/2 inch thick slab of that rock or crystal or mineral. And then I have stencils sometimes to get like a nice oval shape or guitar pick or triangle, or sometimes I even freehand them. You know, I'll sketch just like a crescent moon or whatever shape you want. And then I have a smaller saw that I will cut that shape out with. And then the next step is to go to use cabbing wheels. And cabbing wheels are wheels that turn at a high speed,
Yes.
and they have like diamond grit on them to kind of round the rock and start to smooth it and sand it. And it's just like sandpaper, right? Whenever you're doing any home project with sandpaper, working with wood, you start with a low grit, like an 80 or a 120 grit.
Right.
And then you work your way up to 280, and then you go to 600, and then 1,000 and 2,000. It's the same thing with the rocks. You start at a low grit, you work your way up, and the whole time you're using water in the process as well, so the rock doesn't heat up and crack.
Right.
So you're using water, and this wheel is spinning, and you're holding and using your hands to shape that rock.
That's an art.
Yeah, it really is. Thank you. And
You're welcome. It's
it's
the truth.
yeah, you know, the first one I made at my Rock and Mineral Club. The guys in my Rock and Mineral Club, we have like a workshop night once a month, and they showed me how to do it. And the first one I made, it probably took me a half hour to do. You know, whereas like now I could do 10 in a half hour. You know, so it's like, it's an art, you know, and,
Yeah,
and
it is.
you progress and you get
That's
better at it. And,
wonderful.
you know, you learn and you go, and then the last step is to polish it. And then you use like, you could use like tin oxide or cerium oxide, it's called. And you mix that with water and you can polish it for turquoise and softer minerals like Larimar, one of your favorites, I know, and Variscite. You use what is called ZAM. It's just a polishing compound. So these are all things you learn and you pick up, and you know, you watch videos online or you read books, and you know, you talk to people and you get that knowledge, and then you try to apply it.
This is your passion.
It is. Yeah, I'm into it right now.
This is a passion.
It's a passion.
I see that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
fun.
it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. We
Thank you.
all have to be able to express our creativity, our passion. You know, when people feel depressed or if they feel sad or too anxious or stressed, if you do something creative, no matter what it is, you don't have to paint a picture or polish the stones and everything like Doug. Whatever it is that you decide to do, as long as it's expressing a form of your creativity, it literally flips your brain from the stressed side to when it goes to the artistic or creative side, it immediately can release the endorphins for you and make you feel good, make you feel happy. Yeah, because of the brain chemistry that it creates. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So everybody needs a little something. Everybody has a little passion about something. You know, it just, this is yours, it seems. And plus, there's so much more that you do. I know that as a human being. As a person.
It is a lot of fun, and it is at times frustrating, just because you may break a stone, and sometimes
like the perfect one. You mean?
Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I can't believe I just did that, and you have to catch yourself. Like, you're gonna make mistakes in that process. And,
Human.
Yeah, we are, and you have to forgive yourself, and you have to just move on, and you have to be able to continue to move forward, and try again. And I found that a lot of the jewelry I create, it's the pieces that aren't what I consider my best works or perfect that people like the most, because it has character, or it's not that cookie cutter, or it doesn't look perfect, and people absolutely love that. And so that's good, for me to know that, like, even if whatever I create, there's going to be a home for that piece for someone.
Absolutely, 100%. Not just that. I mean, we're talking about crystals, the energy of crystals.
Yeah.
And you always, some call to you. Crystals call to you. You just feel that connection with a crystal,
Yeah.
Yeah. People tell me about that all the time. I know that's how I feel.
Yeah,
that's
really true. A lot of my customers they say, this picked me. I didn't pick this.
That's
this crystal
the truth.
picked me.
That's the truth.
Yeah, and
That's the truth.
they really enjoy that process of allowing that to happen. So that's really cool.
Beautiful. Is there any other pictures we didn't show, Brian, before we wrap it up? Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have that beautiful one there. What's that one?
Yeah, Brian, your producer, called this kryptonite.
I love it.
It does look like something out of this world. It really does. So what we're looking at here is
kryptonite. It looks like it. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But what is the real name?
Yeah. So what we're looking at here, the green mineral here, in or that, I guess it like that minty green.
Yeah.
That we're looking at, that is called prehnite. And this prehnite is a really good quality prehnite. This is one of my better pieces, if not my best. And this is from Passaic County, and this came out of basalt as well. So it's actually sitting, the dark gray on the outside that you see in this picture, that's cooled basalt. So that's cooled lava. And
oh, it is?
Yeah, so this is basalt.
Look at, what's this little red in here?
Not sure. Just a little bit of mineralization in it as well. And we also have a little bit in this piece. The clear crystals or white crystals are apophyllite, and there's a little calcite in there as well. So
my goodness,
you have a lot going on with this piece, and the prehnite is one of the minerals that I really kind of fell in love with when I first started mining.
It's gorgeous.
You're doing hard rock mining. Like, this doesn't come out of the dirt. The carnelian comes out of the dirt.
It gives me a calming feeling, that stone. Brian just let me know that we have to start wrapping things up. Is there anything you'd like to add before we end?
No, I think a great message or something I'd like to add is that, we talked about like crystals finding you. I think like your passion, you can't go out and find your passion.
Yeah.
Like your passion needs to find you. And, you know, finding things and going out in nature and finding these earth treasures, as we're calling it, jokingly in the beginning of the show, is kind of what has become my passion, as one of my passions, I guess you could say. And, you know, it's healthy for your body. It's healthy for your mind. You know, it's something that not only brings joy to me, but when I could share what I find with other people, you know, that's a really big win for me.
That's
you know.
fulfilling.
It is very fulfilling. You know, whether it's like the raw stones like we're showing here, or it's the jewelry that people can wear and utilize.
That you make beautiful jewelry.
And keep on them.
You
Thank
make
you.
beautiful jewelry.
Yeah,
you know,
thank you.
I have to say we're going to have to wrap it up really quick now. Any information that you would like, please just send an email. You could send it to myself or Brian. Our emails are at the end of the show. Any information you'd like to know about anything that we talked about tonight with Doug. And also, if you'd like the free horoscope that I write every month, you just send me your email, and I'll send that to you too. So any information at all from the show tonight, please contact us. Be sure to watch us on Spectrum and Fios, and also on YouTube. Okay, thank you so much for viewing us. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you for
You have
having
to
me.
come back again.
Thank you. I will.
And many, many, many bright blessings.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.